So at this point, Ferrari do not want, especially us, building a 296 Challenge road car.
Imagine buying a wrecked Ferrari and expecting to bring it back to life, only to find the car refuses to start no matter what you replace. What happens when a manufacturer locks down access to the very technology needed to repair their vehicle? Matt Armstrong faced exactly this with a Ferrari 296 GTB, a hybrid supercar that challenged even his seasoned expertise. Behind the sleek, racing-inspired bodywork lay invisible barriers controlled by Ferrari itself, forcing a showdown between independent builders and one of the most guarded marques in the world. Repair blockade begins. The moment Matt Armstrong's team tried to start the wrecked Ferrari 296 GTB, they encountered an unexpected and fundamental obstacle. The car refused to fire up. This wasn't a typical mechanical failure that could be fixed by replacing parts or repairing wiring. Instead, the problem traced back to the hybrid battery control module, a crucial piece of Ferrari's integrated powertrain system responsible for managing communication between the electric motor, the battery pack, and the combustion engine. Without this module's full cooperation, the vehicle's startup sequence simply could not proceed. What made this issue profoundly challenging was that the battery control module is not a standalone unit, but a highly specialized component calibrated uniquely for the 296 GTB's powertrain. It's embedded within a proprietary software framework that governs the car's entire hybrid architecture. If the module detects any fault or fails to communicate properly, the system will not reset. And as far as the car's logic is concerned, the vehicle is unable to start. Unlike older or simpler hybrid systems, there is no manual override or software bypass available. Armstrong's workshop had the physical capacity and technical skill to work on every other part of the car, from the body panels to suspension components. But the moment their work touched the control module's network, they hit an invisible wall. Ferrari's refusal to grant access to their proprietary diagnostic software and override tools effectively locked the vehicle from the inside. This created an unprecedented barrier for anyone attempting an independent salvage or repair outside official Ferrari channels. Such a standoff placed Armstrong in uncharted territory. Working on a wrecked car is a complex challenge itself, but facing a manufacturer's closed, tightly controlled electronic ecosystem raised the stakes to a new level. The hybrid system's demands and Ferrari's control over it transformed what began as a promising repair into a frustrating impasse, leaving the project stalled and the mystery unsolved. Initial optimism about the salvage took a hit as progress slowed to a halt. Despite having sound structural components and usable powertrain parts beneath the surface damage, the project's success hinged entirely on overcoming this software blockade. The frustration grew as attempts to source compatible components or find third-party diagnostic solutions proved futile. This situation is not just an isolated technical hurdle. It highlights a larger conflict between independent automotive builders and manufacturers. As vehicles become more software-dependent and manufacturers increasingly safeguard their control systems, the traditional boundaries of ownership and repair access are shifting rapidly. Armstrong's experience serves as a powerful example of how these unseen electronic walls can stop even well-resourced projects in their tracks. Though this repair blockade loomed large, it was only part of a more complicated story that included additional challenges and unexpected twists. The full extent of obstacles Armstrong faced would only become clear as the project unfolded, and those revelations carried critical implications for modern car ownership and repair rights. While the stubborn hybrid system stalled the car, the complexity of the 296 GTB's design itself amplified every difficulty, making the repair challenge unlike anything Armstrong had tackled before. Complexity of the 296 GTB. The Ferrari 296 GTB is not just a powerful supercar, It's a masterpiece of complex engineering designed to operate seamlessly at the intersection of road use and track performance. At its heart lies a mid-engine layout combining a 3-liter twin-turbocharged V6 engine with a hybrid electric motor. Together, these systems generate more than 800 horsepower packed into a chassis weighing less than 1,500 kilograms, producing a car that is both exhilaratingly fast and astonishingly precise. What complicates repairs significantly is how tightly intertwined the combustion engine and electric motor are within this architecture. Unlike earlier hybrids, where components could operate somewhat independently, the 296 GTB's systems function as a cohesive unit. The battery, electric motor, and engine control modules communicate constantly, maintaining balance, performance, and safety. Any disruption in this network can prevent the entire car from starting or operating correctly. Ferrari's decision to embed proprietary software controls into this system adds another layer of complexity. The hybrid battery control module governs critical communication and is uniquely calibrated for each vehicle, ensuring performance standards but also limiting external interference. Without authorized access to Ferrari's specialized diagnostic software, resolving faults within this system becomes nearly impossible, especially for independent repairers. The 296 GTB also leverages an advanced electronic network that manages not only performance, but safety systems, diagnostics, and firmware updates. This integration means a fault or modification in one area may ripple through the entire system, creating cascading issues. For a severely damaged car like Armstrong's, this web of interdependencies proved especially unforgiving. The car's advanced engineering reflects Ferrari's dedication to delivering a high-performance experience that blends visceral driving and cutting-edge technology. It's built to excel on public roads and amateur circuits alike, balancing emotional driving thrills with precise control. These very design goals, however, render the 296 GTB particularly challenging to repair outside official channels. This complexity sets the 296 GTB apart, not only in what it offers drivers, but in who can realistically service it. Ferrari's closed ecosystem of certified technicians, proprietary tools, and documented repair histories reinforces the difficulty of independent rebuilds. Unlike some other manufacturers with more open parts and servicing networks, Ferrari's approach tightly controls who can diagnose, repair, and modify their vehicles. For Matt Armstrong, this meant the hybrid's intricacy, combined with Ferrari's ecosystem, was more than a technical challenge. It was a structural barrier to progress. The layers of software and hardware dependencies required not only advanced expertise, but also manufacturer cooperation, something that seemed increasingly out of reach as the project continued. Understanding the 296 GTB's advanced design is key to grasping why Armstrong's project moved beyond standard rebuild difficulties and into a confrontation with one of the strictest manufacturer repair policies in the automotive world. The complications only mounted when Armstrong's team chose to incorporate Ferrari Challenge parts, pushing the project's boundaries even further. Challenge components. Issue. Seeking to elevate the build beyond a typical road car restoration, Armstrong's team sourced authentic parts from the Ferrari 296 Challenge, a racing-only variant of the 296 GTB designed exclusively for Ferrari's track program. These components included a rear wing engineered for much greater downforce, a redesigned front bumper with aggressive aerodynamics, and an enlarged rear diffuser, all manufactured by Ferrari with full provenance and certification. However, incorporating these genuine challenge spec parts introduced a significant complication. Ferrari's official service and repair architecture operates within a closed certified network that meticulously documents every service, part replacement, and modification. This traceability guarantees the authenticity and integrity of a vehicle throughout its lifespan and is essential for resale value and brand reputation. By fitting challenge components outside the official Ferrari repair channels, Armstrong's build lacked the documented history and certified sign-offs that Ferrari requires to validate repairs. Without this continuity, the manufacturer cannot certify the work or accept responsibility for the car's condition, especially in cases involving such specialized parts that affect performance and safety. Once Ferrari understood the build included challenge parts installed independently, their response was to withdraw official support. Key parts orders were reportedly blocked, and the team lost access to the diagnostic tools and software needed to address the car's hybrid issues. This withdrawal placed Armstrong in an even more difficult position, forcing his team to continue their complex fabrication and modification work without crucial manufacturer assistance. Despite these setbacks, Armstrong's commitment to completing the challenge-style bodywork and associated custom modifications, including radiator repositioning and exhaust rerouting, progressed steadily. Visually, the car transformed into a faithful, track-ready specimen. Mechanically, however, it remained silent, embodying the paradox of independent ambition thwarted by proprietary controls. This situation underscored Ferrari's strict brand protectionism and the lengths to which the company maintains control over the service and repair of even deeply modified vehicles bearing its badge. Their position goes beyond protecting brand image. It is also about safety, performance assurance, and controlling post-factory interventions. The standoff between Armstrong's team and Ferrari highlights the growing tension in the automotive world between independent restoration culture and manufacturers' proprietary systems. Building outside certified networks with non-standard parts invites significant barriers, especially when software access is critical. Armstrong's experience illustrates that even with genuine parts and skilled craftsmanship, restoring a modern Ferrari demands more than physical work. It requires navigating complex legal and technical frameworks that define who ultimately controls a vehicle's destiny. As the project continued, Armstrong's team found that technical dead ends awaited around every corner, despite their relentless efforts. Technical dead ends. As the rebuild progressed, Armstrong's team confronted a series of frustrating technical dead ends that drained both time and resources without bringing the car closer to running under its own power. One of the first hurdles arose from the airbags, which had deployed in the crash. In modern vehicles, airbag control modules enter a locked fault state after deployment, a safety measure preventing the system from being simply reset without thorough inspection. This fault could propagate through the car's broader electronic management system, effectively blocking startup sequences. The team replaced all airbags and sent the control module to specialists capable of restoring and recoding it. Although this painstaking work eliminated the airbag fault, the 296 GTB remained immobile. The absence of the car's response reaffirmed that deeper issues lay elsewhere in the hybrid control architecture, beyond the reach of standard repairs and resets. Attention then shifted to the pyro fuse, a one-time explosive disconnect designed to sever the high-voltage battery circuit immediately after a severe impact. Damage to this component is irreversible, requiring full replacement before the electrical system can safely be reactivated. However, sourcing a pyro fuse proved an ordeal in itself. Exclusive to Ferrari and tightly controlled within their authorized supply chain, obtaining one without official dealer support meant navigating a labyrinth of dealer negotiations and used parts markets. Despite genuine efforts, replacing the pyro fuse did not resolve the core issue. The root fault remained elusive, residing in a layer of proprietary control logic inaccessible to the rebuild team. Each expensive lead explored only underscored the dominant obstacle. Without Ferrari's cooperation and access to their diagnostic systems and software, the hybrid system's fault could not be conclusively identified or repaired. In a final, costly attempt, Armstrong's team ordered a brand-new hybrid battery control module, a component priced at roughly $23,800. The logic was clear. If the existing module was corrupted or damaged, a factory-fresh replacement, fully calibrated and fault-free, should clear the car to start. Yet, installing the new module brought no change. The car still refused to fire, underscoring that the fault lay upstream in the system-level communication protocols Ferrari controls exclusively. This unyielding defeat illustrated a stark reality. Even with substantial financial investment and technical expertise, breaking through Ferrari's software fortress remained out of reach. No third-party alternatives existed, and Ferrari's proprietary tools were locked behind a dealer-only access system, isolating the control logic from independent intervention. While the team tackled mechanical and electronic challenges, the stunning visual progress of the challenge body conversion continued unabated. Custom radiator repositioning, exhaust rerouting, and precise aerodynamic fittings transformed the wreck into a masterpiece resembling a factory race car. Yet, beneath this dramatic transformation, the car remained a silent testament to the limits of independent restoration when facing manufacturer-imposed barriers. The crisis deepened the tension between Armstrong's ambition and the invisible grip Ferrari held over access to its technology. The stalled car symbolized a broader conflict over control, ownership, and the boundaries of expertise in the age of hyper-connected, software-dependent supercars. Despite these setbacks, a breakthrough in dialogue was on the horizon, changing the project's direction in unforeseen ways. Ferrari's return to cooperation. After months of stalled progress, Armstrong reached out to Ferrari once more, aiming to break the deadlock that had immobilized the rebuild. While the specific details of the communications remain private, the breakthrough lay in Ferrari's decision to re-engage with the project, not as a concession, but on tightly defined terms. The company insisted that the vehicle be fully completed, every modified panel in place, every fabrication task finalized, before its authorized technicians would intervene. This requirement reflects Ferrari's unwavering commitment to a documented and certified service process. The manufacturer views a partly restored or non-certified vehicle as a problematic case, one lacking a stable baseline from which to diagnose and repair. Without a complete and defined state, technicians cannot easily record work or verify the integrity of repairs within Ferrari's official network. For Armstrong's team, this meant that every remaining task, every aerodynamic detail, every interior fitting, every mechanical adjustment carried newfound urgency and significance. Unlike earlier phases where stalled repairs bred frustration, the path forward crystallized clearly. Finish the build to Ferrari's standards, and only then would the company unlock the diagnostic doors. This condition, while restrictive, embodies a coherent logic. It protects Ferrari's brand, ensures safety, and maintains a traceable history that supports long-term vehicle value and reliability. From Ferrari's perspective, allowing a mid-process entry into their service network would disrupt this documentation and risk liability issues. Armstrong accepted the challenge, mobilizing his team to push the build toward a state of tangible completion. The months of halted progress began to give way to renewed momentum driven by the knowledge that Ferrari's involvement was no longer a question of if, but when, hinging on finishing the car properly. This shift also illuminated the limits of independent restoration in the modern supercar era. No amount of funding or skill replaces the value of manufacturer cooperation where software controls dominate critical systems. The project became less about just fixing a car and more about navigating corporate policies and technical gatekeeping. Ferrari's return, on their strict conditions, underscores the company's broader philosophy. Control over repairs ensures a consistent ownership experience, promotes safety, and protects their engineering legacy. It's a reminder that for many high-performance vehicles, True ownership is shared between the buyer and the manufacturer in complex, sometimes contentious ways. Ultimately, this renewed cooperation offered Armstrong a path forward, balancing his independent builder spirit with the realities of modern automotive complexity, a precarious truce that could define the future of his extraordinary project. The question remained, could finishing the build unlock the hybrid system and bring the silent Ferrari to life? Implications and lessons. Matt Armstrong's stalled Ferrari 296G TB project shines a bright light on the evolving realities of modern supercar ownership. This isn't just about fixing a wrecked car. It's a window into how advanced technology and manufacturer control can redefine what it means to truly own a vehicle. As cars become increasingly reliant on software, the ability to repair or modify them independently faces unprecedented limits. Armstrong's experience underscores that having financial resources and technical skill is no longer enough without manufacturer cooperation. Ferrari's insistence on controlling access to proprietary diagnostic tools and repair procedures illustrates a broader industry trend. Manufacturers justify these restrictions on grounds of safety, brand integrity, and performance guarantees. Yet, this tight control raises complex questions about consumer rights and the balance between protection and empowerment. For builders like Armstrong, the challenge lies in navigating a landscape where traditional notions of vehicle ownership are complicated by digital gatekeepers. The project also highlights the importance of documented service history and certified repair networks. Ferrari's refusal to certify modifications made outside their authorized channels is rooted in maintaining a verifiable chain of custody and quality assurance. For collectors and buyers, this traceability underpins vehicle value and authenticity. However, it creates friction for independent restorers seeking to innovate or rebuild outside formal ecosystems. Armstrong's determination to push the build to completion despite these barriers reveals the impact of persistence in the face of entrenched corporate policies. His story shows that while manufacturer cooperation is vital, independent passion and resourcefulness still play critical roles. The delicate truce achieved with Ferrari, conditional assistance only after full compliance, reflects a pragmatic but constrained pathway for future projects. Beyond individual cases, this situation informs the ongoing debate about the right to repair. Advocates argue for greater access to diagnostic information, tools, and parts to empower owners and independent shops. In contrast, premium brands like Ferrari maintain that their controlled ecosystems protect vehicle safety and preserve engineering excellence. Armstrong's journey exemplifies the practical consequences of this debate on high-performance vehicles, where security, software, and exclusive parts dominate. The Ferrari 296 GTB project also signals a turning point in automotive media and transparency. Armstrong's channel, with millions of followers, documents these struggles in real time, holding manufacturers accountable and educating audiences about modern vehicle complexities. This exposure brings awareness, but doesn't necessarily influence entrenched manufacturer policies, showing the limits of public pressure against corporate strategy. For enthusiasts, the story is a cautionary tale about the cost and complexity of independent restoration in the digital age. As cars grow more sophisticated, successful rebuilds may increasingly require navigating legal, technical, and corporate landscapes as much as mechanical challenges. Armstrong's experience suggests that collaboration with manufacturers could become not just beneficial, but essential for certain vehicles. Ultimately, this project is more than a build stalled by software locks. It's a revealing case study on ownership, control, and the future of automotive repair. The silent Ferrari 296 GTB stands as a symbol of both incredible engineering and the profound influence manufacturers wield long after a car leaves the factory floor. Matt Armstrong's Ferrari rebuild shows how modern supercars are as much about software control as mechanical mastery. His struggle reveals the complex balance between independent repair and manufacturer authority in today's automotive world. If you found this deep dive insightful, please like and subscribe for more stories uncovering the realities behind the cars we love.